Hey everyone, day 2 of SQL joins. Hopefully the last class that we did gave you a little bit of a taste on how to match tables in SQL. And we're going to do that again today. We're going to do it with some data that I've talked about in this class but I have yet to show you. But before we do that, let's go over a little bit of a review. So joining tables in SQL. A lot of times you'll use the select all line to begin with, and this selects all the records that in the two tables, or you can list the specific column names if you want. And then you do the from line, from table 1 and comma table 2. And these are the two tables that you want to join, and as we went over the last class, you can also join views, so a table and a view as well. And the important line in the joining tables is the where line. And this is where table 1 dot the field name equals table 2 dot the field name. And the field names are the columns that essentially link the two tables, the columns that each table has in common. And that's how they talk to each other. But I uploaded some more CSV files for you to look at. One is called owners and the other is called winners, and these are the part of the lottery data that the Observer used a few years ago to investigate the North Carolina Education Lottery. And what we'll do is essentially walk through the same steps that I did at the newspaper to look at who wins and how often people are winning the lottery. So I'm going to open up the two CSV files to take a look at them. Okay, the CSV files I have, we can open up a winners first. And you'll see it comes in just looking like an Excel sheet, like all the other CSV files. And it has several 100,000 records. That's why it took a second to open. And I'm going to spread out the fields and go over them. First field is a game type field. You'll notice most of them say instant, and what instant means is a scratch-off game in the lottery. And then some of them say online. Let me see if I can find an online game. And what online games mean is like a pick 4 or pick 3 or essentially the draw type games. See this one right here? It says online. So there are two different types of games that people can play. Then they have the paid date. So this is the date that someone collected his or her winnings. Not necessarily the date that they played the lottery, but the date they cashed in their winning ticket. Then you have the winner first name, winner middle name, winner last name, the city that the winner is from, as well as the state and county. Then you have the game that he or she played, and the prize amount. I'll get to more of that in a second. Then you also have information about the retailer, who sold them the ticket. You have the retailer name, essentially the store name, the store address, store city, store zip code, and the year people paid. So this year was broken out from the paid date. Now just a little bit about the winner data is it's public record in North Carolina. That's how we got it. And it's public record because anytime someone wins the lottery in North Carolina and it's over $600, they have to report that winnings to the IRS. That makes it public record in the state. So this is winnings of all cash prizes over $600. You're not going to see anything below $600. And the data is almost a decade's worth. Let me see, it starts in 2015. I don't know if this is in chronological order or not. Yeah, 2006 to 2015. And there are around 188,000 records. So all lottery winners of $600 or more from 06 to 2015. That's the data that we have in the winners table. Okay, let's check out the owners table as well. I don't want to save any of this. And the owners. This is a much smaller spreadsheet. And what this is the names of the people in North Carolina who are licensed to sell lottery tickets. And essentially these are the convenience store owners who are licensed to sell lottery tickets. In this case, it's first name Aaron, last name or middle name Spencer, and last name Askew. And it also has the owner city and the owner county. So the owner name, first, middle, last, owner city, and owner county. Now, I already imported these into a new database, and I called that new database in SQLite Lottery. And I imported the two tables, one called owners and one called winners, and I'll show you them, but I wanted you guys to import them on your own. Remember to do a couple things to create a new database, in this case called Lottery, and create a shell for both the data sets, and make sure that the number fields are saved as integers in the CSV file. And the number field, all we really need in this one is I think the prize amount. That should be the only number field that we have. But I'm going to close this out, and I'm going to open up the SQLite database and go over what I have in there. Okay, here I am in SQLite, and I'm going to go up to Open Database, and I'm going to navigate to the place that I want, my folder. And again, you should always be dumping your data in a folder and making a copy of it. And I'm going to click on Lottery, so my database name. And you can see my two tables that I have. Owners right here and winners right here. Let's check them out just to make sure that when you import them, they look like the data that I have as well. So browse data, and here's our owners field, or owners table I should say. Pretty straightforward. Owner first, middle, last name, city and county. You can see some have nulls, and we'll see if we have to take care of them later on in our queries that we write. And the other data is winners, and we'll see once that pops up again. It's quite a number of records, and there's all our winner data, and you can see down here 188,000 records. Okay, so the first thing that I did as a reporter here, and the first thing I think we should do, is cut out just the instant winners. And here's the reason why. I talked to the lottery officials quite a bit before I actually ran the data. And for an instant ticket, or a scratch-off ticket, I should say, you have one ticket produces one win. You know what I mean? You can't win multiple times on one scratch-off. But if you were to play an online game, or the kind you see on TV, with the balls bouncing in the air, that's the online game. If you were to play then, you could bet several times, hundreds of times on the same number. And if you happen to get it right, then you won hundreds of times. And we don't want that screwing up our analysis. In other words, we want to concentrate on one ticket equals one win, and not someone getting lucky betting once, but betting 100 times on the same number and getting lucky. So, write a query once you have all your data imported that selects all records from the winners table where the game type equals instant. Okay, and I'm going to do that, and that'll be the first one we write. Select all from winners or game type, it pops up, equals instant. And remember, the instant is case sensitive, but it's a pretty straightforward query, ones that we've been writing for quite a while now, and I'm going to run it. And remember, we started out with 188,000 rows. Now we're down to 119,000, give or take 120,000 rows, and we cut out all the online games, all the draw games. And you can see this column stays instant. all the way down. Okay, so now we have data on just the scratch-off tickets. And I'm going to save this as, let's just save it as instant. There we go. Okay, that one's saved at our view. And now I want to get a decent understanding on who's winning on instant tickets, on scratch-off tickets, and how often are they winning, and how much are they winning. So, how would you do that? How would you count how often and add up how much each person is winning with instant tickets? Okay, we're going to write another query, and we're going to need our select and our group by lines here. So select, go back to browse data. I think it would be smart to grab first, middle, last names, as well as let's try, let's do county as well, just in case there's a Billy L. Phillips, like right here, in 2 different counties. So we'll grab county as well. So select winner underscore first, winner underscore middle, winner underscore last, and the last one, winner underscore county. Now you could select state and city. That's fine. I'm just going to grab these 4. And if I wanted to find out how much each person made, what would I have to write now? Remember sum, prize. And this is why it was important to save the data in the CSV file as a number and import it as an integer. And I'll rename this column as total prize. Then I'll count, because I want to know how often they won as well. And I'm going to rename that as, why don't we rename it as number wins? So how often people won. From our table name, which was winners. And because we have all those fields in our select line, we also need them in our group by line. So group by, and I'm going to be lazy and just copy them. Copy and paste. And let's order by, we could order by the total prize. That could be interesting. Or we could order by the number of wins. Let's do the number of wins. So order by 6 descending. So here we selected the person's full name and the person's county. We added up their prize money. We changed that new field to a field called total prize. We counted all their wins, and we changed that field to number of wins. And then we repeated everything in group by, and notice because these are new columns essentially, we don't put them on our group by column or a group by line. And we ordered it by 6 descending. So let's run that and see what we get. Uh-oh. Let me see what this error is real quick. Oops, I see it. I need order by. Hopefully you guys aren't making silly mistakes like that. Order by 6 descending. And it gave me a tip off because it said right here the error was near the quote unquote 6. So that made me think, okay, it's around here somewhere, and sure enough I missed the by. Now let's run it. Then it's thinking. It's smashing all these records together by their names, and there you have it. See, there's our total winners, but I'm really interested in how often just the instant winners won. So watch when we do that. See, Andy Vu won 105 times, total wins from all the records. Now I'm going to switch out from with instant. This is why we cut out the instant to begin with. Now let's see who won what. It's thinking again, and there we go. This is more like it. See, Andy Vu, I knew from my reporting, his 105 wins, he bet literally 100 times on the same number on one night and just happened to hit it rich. But this is more like it. So this is just instant wins. These are just scratch-off tickets. And look at this. This fella, Cecil T. Etheridge, right here, he won 52 times on scratch-off tickets. That's amazing, considering most scratch-off tickets, the odds are between like 1 in 5,000 and 1 in a million. And he won 52 times for $73,000. And look at Diane Israel. She won 51 times, and she won more than $1 million. Jeez Louise, that's some pretty good luck, or something fishy is going on. So I'm going to save this one as instant name count. So I'm counting my instant wins by name. Click OK. Great. Well, what if I asked you to look at all the big winners? In other words, to write a query that selects anyone who won, say, 10 or more times on instant tickets. I mean, that's pretty lucky. You win 2 or 3 times in the lottery in your life, and you're pretty lucky. So we're going to grab all these people that won at least 10 times in the lottery. Could you write that query? All these. You can see there's dozens and dozens of them. So let's write a query that grabs all people who won instant tickets 10 or more times and just cut them out. So grab all records. And I'm going to start a new query tab. So select all, because I want all records. From, in this case, I'm going to use the query that we just built, or just ran. And I think that was called instant name count, where number of wins, that was the column that we created on the far right, is greater than 9. And I'm going to order it by the prize money. See who won the most with those 9+ wins. So order by, I think I called it total prize. Total prize. Yep. So I'm selecting all records from the query that I just wrote, and I saved it as a view called instant name count, where the number of wins was at least 9. So, I'm sorry, was greater than 9. So 10, 11, 12, and so on. And I'm ordering it by total prize count descending. Let's run that. Okay, another error. Let me see where I went wrong here. I'm getting sloppy. It's number of wins, plural. I apologize. Number of wins right there. Now we can run it. And there it goes. It's spinning, which is always a good sign. And look at that. We have 555 people who won the lottery in about a decade's time in North Carolina, at least 10 times or more. When you talk to statisticians, that's astounding. And this lady, Diane Kelly Royal of Rutherford County, she won 15 times. And look how much she won. $5.9 million. And Reginald Miller in Wake won 23 times on scratch-off tickets, remember. And he won $4 million. That's pretty good. Look at all those times. And for the heck of it, we could sort it by number of wins, but we know that these are 10 or more, and we already know that Cecil and Diane had the most wins. So I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm going to save it as instant, because these are just our instant winners. Instant, let's go at instant 10 more. So instant wins that are 10 or more. Click OK. So we're getting some good information here. We know that a couple people won the lottery more than 50 times already. We know that 555 people down here won at least 10 times, including one person who won 15 times, making almost $6 million. Not bad, huh? Now, how much did all these people make? So everyone who won at least 10 times, add up their total wins, just for the folks who won at least 10 times on a scratch-off ticket. And we're going to see how much the lottery's paid out to what some people would call suspicious winners. So let's start a query and write that. We want the total prize money. So select, and in this case I'm going to look at my view so I don't screw it up again. And I want instant 10 or more. And I want that field, total prize is what I want to call it. Instant sum total prize. And I'm going to rename that as all money won. You can even say all money won by 10 or more. And it's going to be from the view that we just created, which is called instant underscore 10 underscore more. Right here. And what this is going to do is sum up everyone who won and who won at least 10 times. So their total prize count. Let's do that to see what the suspicious quote-unquote winners are winning in the lottery. And it's thinking, and look at that. What is that? $41 million maybe? Yep. So $41 million went to large repeat winners. I'd write something like that down in my notes. And I'd save this one as instant more than 10 total. And again, you can save it as whatever you want, but this sort of tips off what I'm looking at so I can look at my SQL and realize what I was trying to find out with this. So I'm going to click OK. Now, what really piqued my interest was one of the first queries that we wrote. I'm going to go back to Browse Data, and I'm going to look at the instant name count. I think that was right. And this gentleman, Cecil T. Etheridge, he would be, I guess, the most prolific scratch-off lottery winner in the state in the past decade. So let's cut out all his records. So write a query that selects all the records where the winner was Cecil T. Etheridge. And for the heck of it, order it by paid date. So all the records where Cecil T. Etheridge won, ordered by paid date. And as you can see, our first 2, 3, 4 queries started out wide, but now Cecil piqued my interest, so I'm going really small. I'm going really narrow on this investigation. So I said select all records, so select asterisk from, we have to go back to our instant table, right? Where winner underscore first equal Cecil, all right, remember to capitalize the C, and winner underscore middle equals T, and I'm going to make sure that T is capitalized, and winner underscore last equals Etheridge. Now I'm going to make sure I spelled this right before I run it. So I'm going to go back to Browse Data. and Cecil, T is capitalized, and Etheridge is E-T-H-E, Ridge. Okay, so I think that's all right. So this is going to grab all the times and all the records where Cecil won on a scratch-off ticket. So I'm going to run that. There we go. And if I remember right, I think he had 52 wins, and that's how many shows up down here. And I ordered it by paid date. Now, you can look at this data and say, hey, well, why didn't we clean it up a little bit? In other words, why didn't we concatenate the names, first, middle, and last? Well, we could have. I think we know how to concatenate, so I didn't want to take up class time. And also, paid date has the timestamp afterwards. That's what all these zeros are. And we could clean up that, but since they're all zeros and they're not anything different, they're all collapsing on top of each other anyway if we write a query. So I'm not too concerned about that, because I know 2/21/2008 000 is really February 21st, 2008. There's nothing outrageous about that. But as I'm looking at the data, and again, these are the times that he cashed in a winning ticket. Look at that. I just scrolled down a few. And on 8/6/2009, he cashed in 5 lottery tickets worth $1,000 apiece. That's pretty impressive. You know, that makes me wonder how often he's cashing in double tickets. And then same thing, 9/30/2009, he cashes in 2 more $1,000 lottery tickets. Not bad, huh? Look at that. On 11/23, I don't even know if we can fit them all in this view. 11/23/2009, he cashes in a bunch more, all worth $1,000. Golly. So we could say that on November 23rd, 2009, Cecil T. Etheridge won the lottery 8 times, or cashed in 8 winning lottery tickets worth a total of $8,000. And he bought them all from the same store right here, and all that store is in Raleigh. That's pretty good. So I'm going to just call this one Cecil, right, because these are all Cecil's wins. And I'm going to stick with our friend Cecil. C-E-C, if I can spell him right. C-E-C-I-L. And his groups of wins on the same paid date made me curious. I'm going to write a formula, and I asked you to write a formula that groups Cecil's wins on paid date. So in other words, how often did Cecil cash in a winning ticket on the different dates that he cashed them in? You know, how many did he cash in on 11/23/2009, then on 12/15/2009, etc. And call this query Cecil by paid date. So I'm going to go up here, and I already saved it, so I'm going to create a new one. I think I already saved it, yeah. So, and I want to group them by paid date. So I have to select paid date. I'm going to sum the prizes too. Sum prize, and rename it as total prize. Why not? And then I want to count how often he won, and rename that as total wins. Again, you can name these columns whatever you want. Mine are sort of pretty black and white. I just want it from the Cecil field, the Cecil table or view that we just created. And group by paid date, right? And order by. Now I could order it by either 2 or 3. I'll try ordering it by 3, I think. Go down here real quick. Order by 3 descending. So this is going to group together all the wins that Cecil won by date. And it's going to sum up the prizes that he cashed in those tickets on those days. And it's also going to count how many tickets he cashed in on those days. And then it's going to order it by the count. Okay, let's see. Yep, look at that. That's what we looked at on his total wins. So November 23rd, 2009, he cashed in 8 winning tickets for a total of $8,000. And look at this. Less than a month later, our friend Cecil cashed in 6 winning tickets for $10,000. And less than a month later, he cashed in 5 more winning tickets for $5,000. And so on, and golly, you should go down here again. 2 weeks later, he cashed in 4 winning tickets for $4,000. And again, a week later, week and a half, 3 winning tickets for $3,000. That's nuts. I'm going to save this one as Cecil by paid date. He's winning so often that it makes me think, or makes me wonder, I think he was from Apex if I was right, if he's the only person who won on this date in Apex. I think that'll be interesting. In other words, on November 23rd, 2009, he cashed in 8 winning tickets. Is there anyone else in the entire city of Apex, where he's from, who cashed in any tickets during that day? So can you find that out? From the entire instant table, if Cecil was the only one to cash in tickets on November 23rd, 2009 for the city of Apex, let's try that. So it'll be select all, because I want all the records. I'm going back to instant, because I just want the scratch off tickets, where I'm going to start with winner city equals Apex. That's the city that Cecil is from. And paid date equals 11/23/2009. This gets a little tricky only because our data is still a little bit dirty, where we have to go 0, 0, 0. I think that's how it's written. I'm pretty sure. We'll check if we get an error. But this selects all records from our instant, or from our scratch-off tickets table, where the winner city was Apex, so where the winner lived in Apex, and where the paid date was November 23rd, 2009. Let's run that. Okay, so here we have our wins. That's interesting. There's only 8 records. And remember, Cecil won 8 times on that day. So this guy is so lucky, or sneaky maybe, that he's the only person in the entire city who cashed in a winning lottery ticket that day. And not only was he the only person, he did it 8 times with 8 different wins. That's not bad. So I'm going to save this one as Cecil, November 23rd. Click OK. And we're rolling here. A lot of really good information that we're pulling from our data. And while we're at it, I remember Betty Manning. She was the number 2 winner, and she actually won more dollar-wise than Cecil. See if we go into our instant name count, write a query that selects all her records as well, and order that one by paid date. And we'll see where this one goes to. I'm sorry, this is Diane Cunningham, not Betty Manning. Betty Manning, I noticed her because she won 42 times. So let's do Betty Manning since I said it. So select all records, where the winner was Betty Carolyn Manning of Guilford County. Okay? And you want all records. So create a new SQL tab, select all from instant, right? Because we just want scratch off tickets. Where, and this is where we list the first, middle, and last names. Winner dot first equals Betty. And that's how you spell it. And winner dot middle equals, I think it's Carolyn, Carolynn. And winner dot last was Manning. And just in case there are two Betty Carolyn Mannings, which I doubt there were, but just in case we want to be sure, let's put in Winter County equals Guilford as well. That's where she was from. And remember to make sure you capitalize as necessary. So this selects all records where Betty Carolyn Manning of Guilford County won. And she's the one who, if we run it right, won 42 times. So I'm going to run it. Error and FRONOM it should be. Now I'm going to click back down here and run it again. There we go. Yep, 42 wins. And you can see all her wins. I bet you she won a lot on the same day as well. But I'm going to save her wins as, you can save her as, let's do Betty Manning. Why not? Something simple, right? Save you as Betty underscore Manning. So we have Cecil, and then we have Betty. Click OK. Now the reason I wanted to bring up Betty Manning, and this doesn't have anything to do with the data, but it was interesting in our investigation. We found out that she not only beat odds of 1 in 5,000, but also 1 in 40,000, 1 in 70,000, and 1 in 120,000. Now imagine those odds. That's like me saying, you know, pick a number. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 5,000, and you have to pick the exact number. Then if you're lucky to do that, lucky enough to do that, you have to pick 1 in 40,000, pick that number. Then if you're lucky enough to do that, 1 in 70,000, and then finally 1 in 120,000. And she did that pretty darn consistently. In fact, I'm going to order it by paid date. And we can see how consistently she actually did it. Now we have 10-14, 11-15, 11-15, 12-13, 12, 5-15. So all between 13 and 15, essentially, all our wins. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we found out that some lottery winners are winning an absurd amount of time. 10, 20, 30, even 52 times on scratch-off tickets. And when you look up this information, that the scratch-off tickets have crazy odds. But who are these people winning? And the other table that we have, the owners table, might give us a little hint. All right, so I'm going to go to my browse data. I'm going to check out that owners table again. And click down to owners. So if we wanted to link this table with our winners table, how would we do that? Because we don't have a complaint number field like we did last class, or we don't have a unique ID field, right? But we do have several fields that we can essentially link to several other fields that in a way creates its own unique ID. In other words, if we say select all records from the owners and the winners tables where the first names equal each other, and the middle names equal each other, and the last names equal each other, and the counties equal each other. I think we could get by like that, right? That makes sense to me, so let's try that. Go to Execute SQL, create a new tab, and join the two tables, join all records from the two tables, right? And see what we get. So I have select all, so give me all records from winners and from owners. Actually, I'm going to change this right here. I just want from instant, because I don't want people who are playing the TV games, the ping pong ball games, who may have screwed up my analysis by winning multiple times. So I'm going to just look at the scratch off games, right? And I need my where. So where instant dot, what was it, winner first? I think that was it. Yep. Instant dot winner first equals owners dot owner first. Okay, so where the first names equal each other. And let's do it again. Instant dot winner middle equals owners dot owner middle. Right? Let's do it again. And instant dot winner last equals owners dot owner last. And one more time, because just in case there are two Gavin offs in two different counties, let's join the counties to this list as well. So I'm going to say and instant dot winner county equal owners dot owner county. See, we don't have a unique ID. We didn't have one complaint number like we did in CMPD's database, right? But adding all these together, the first name, middle, last, and the county, that creates a unique ID into itself, essentially. Right? So this should run. Let's check it out. So here we're going to actually find out if any of these store owners, if any of these people who actually are charged with selling us the lottery tickets are actually winners themselves. So let's try it out. And look, lo and behold, looks like quite a few. 3,631 people, or times I should say, not people because there's some repeats in here, I'm sure. So 3,600 times the person behind the counter won a lottery ticket. Okay, I'm just going to investigate the data a little bit. Here's their names. I'm kind of curious with their prize. Yeah, a lot of big prizes too. You can see thousands of dollars. Here's a gentleman who won what, 200,000 in Gaston County, right next to Charlotte. So does that raise anyone's interest that the person who's supposed to hand you or I our winning ticket is winning this often? You know, and maybe they're doing it legitimately, but maybe not. So I'm going to call this one, let's call it instant underscore owners. And you can call it instant owners join or instant owners match. It doesn't matter. Click OK. There we go. So let's find how often some of these owners are winning. You know, are they maybe just winning the instant tickets once or twice? Or are they, maybe something's crazy happening that they're winning, you know, a dozen times. So using this view, how would you write a query? How would you write a query that queries this view? And we essentially did it already when we summed and counted the prizes for the regular winners. So go to create a new SQL tab. And what do we have to select? If we want to select and see how often each person or each owner is winning, well, we have to start selecting that, right? We have to select owner first, owner middle, owner last, sum, prize as total prize, and then we'll count it as number wins. This is going to be from our new join. What was that join called? Instant underscore owners. So we're selecting the owner's first name, middle name, last name. We're summing up his or her total prize money right here, and we're calling that new column total prize. And we're counting how often he or she won as well, and we're calling that new column number of wins. Okay? Do group by, and I'm going to be lazy. As long as I did those right, which we'll see, I'm going to copy and paste it down there. And order by, what, 6 maybe? Because I have first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I'm going to do by 6 because up here, I think it's smart if we keep adding the owner county, just in case. And if you add it there, of course we have to add it into our group by line. Okay, so take a look at this query if you need to. Maybe you wrote one yourself, but from our instant owners view, so the join, the one that said, okay, give me all the owners and all the winners and make a query where they matched. So from that view, we're selecting the owner's first, middle, last name, and county that he or she lived. Then we're summing up their prize money, and then we're counting their number of total prizes. And anything that's in our select line has to be in our group by line, and we want to order it by number of wins from high to low. Let's run that and see what we get. Look at that. Amit Kumar Pandya, right here, of Wake County, won 36 times for $66,000. 36 times for $66,000. Then Gary Lee Marshall of Cabarrus County, right next to Charlotte, won 30 times for $30,000. And let's scroll down to see how many actually wanted at least 10, because remember we did that for the regular winners. We're not going to write this query, but I'm just going to eyeball it. So it looks like we have 36 store owners won at least 10 times on the lottery scratch-off tickets from 05 or 06 to 2015. That's a lot of lottery tickets that people would call suspicious because they have access to them. So I'm going to save this one. Save it as instant owners because that's the tables that we joined. Then name count. I think that makes sense. Click OK. Well, I'm interested in that Amit Kumar Pandya, this fella. So write a query that grabs all the records in which Mr. Amit Kumar Pandya won. Okay? And this one, because he has such a unique name, we might just have to copy and paste his name into our new SQL tab. So I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to go select all records from instant underscore owners, where owner first. I could try my luck at spelling it, but I know would not work. So let me see if I can copy it. Control C. Control V. There we go. And owner middle. He had a unique middle name as well. I'm going to go back to my query. I'm going to copy this one. Control V. Put single quotes around it, remember. And the last one, owner last, right? I think this was just Panja, but I'm not going to take my chance. I'm just going to look at it one more time. P-A-N-D-Y-A. I can type that in. D-Y-A. And remember, the A, N, and P are capitalized. So this query, selecting all records from our join, and this is our join of winners, instant winners, and owners, where first name, middle name, last name is Amit Kumar Nadal Panya. I'm going to close out this box over here. And let me see, I'm going to order it by paid date, just to see if he, like Mr. Etheridge, is winning on the same day. There we go. Let's try running it. Oh, owner last error. Let me see what I did wrong there. Oh, I see what I did. I need an and right here. And right there. And it also killed off my order by paid date. So I was missing this and in between owner middle and owner last. And I order it by paid date and run it. There we go. We have 36 records, which is good because that's how much our group by query said he won, 36 times. And I ordered it by paid date. Let's see if he was collecting winning tickets on the same day, just like Mr. Etheridge. And sure enough, I don't even have to scroll very far. Look at February 15th, 2011. He collected, what is that, 6 winning tickets. Most of them for $1,000, including one for $5,000, all on the same day. That's a lot of money that this guy's collecting. And he works there. Now we hope that he's honest. We hope that all these folks are honest. But this data, when you run it by statisticians, it makes them think twice. In fact, if you scroll down a little further, look on 3/30/2012, he collects another $14,000 with 5 winning tickets, including a $10,000 ticket. Goodness gracious. I'm going to save this query as Panja. D-Y-A. Click OK. How are you guys feeling about this? Comfortable? Are you learning hopefully how to write the queries by now, and are hopefully even more so that you're becoming more comfortable with writing them? There was one guy in here that I remember seeing, and he didn't win that often, but I'm going to order this by my old query. I'm going back to the group by query, 5 descending, because I remember this when I was preparing for the class. And this guy right here, Champak Bhai Patel. He only won 9 times, which is an amazing number of wins for most people, but not for the people that we're looking at. But look at that. He won $2 million. In fact, when we researched him at the Observer, he's the only person in North Carolina history who won $1 million scratch-off tickets twice. So let's cut out his names as well. Mr. Champak Bhai Patel, and I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to select all from instant owners, where owner first, and I know I'd screw up his name, so I'm going to go back to my query and copy it. Champak Bhai, paste it in, and owner middle name, I think he had a middle name, but I'm going to check it out again, just an I, capital I. And owner last name was Patel. P-A-T-E-L. And I'm going to double check that before I run it. But Patel. Yep. And I want to order it by prize descending. So select all records from my join, my instant owners join, where the first name was Champak Bhai, the middle name was just the initial I, and the last name was Patel. Let's run that. And here are his 9 wins, which is great because that's what we saw. And I'm going to X out my text box. And there his first $1 million win, 2013. About 2 years later, his second $1 million win, right there. And then poor fella only won $1,000 several times after that. So I'm going to save this one as Patel. And maybe I'm just a skeptical reporter, but when we talked to statisticians, they said the chance of Mr. Pena winning as often as he did was like flipping a coin a heads 142 times in a row. And the lottery also investigated some people, not the folks we necessarily identified, and what they would find is, one, they would literally steal a ticket. Like if I cashed in a ticket and asked them to scan it for me, if it was a winner, they might pocket it and say, no, it didn't win, and give me back a non-winning ticket. And there was one lady close to Charlotte who worked at a convenience store. I think she owned it. She was doing something called a pinning. And I don't buy lottery tickets, but I know on the back of them, they have like a little scratch-off barcode. And she would take a pin and make 1 or 2 really light lines on that scratch-off barcode on the back. And it was just enough where she could run them under her scanner to see if it won. And if it won, she'd scratch off the rest and go in and collect it with the lottery. And if it didn't win, she'd put them right back into her store's bin, and she'd sell them to customers knowing that they were not winners. But that's what the Observer investigated, and we used this data to look at it. Now, before I go over our findings, I just want to go back to Browse Data and our join query. And I want to make sure that you know what the SQL was for this join. So I think I can find it by database structure, then instant count right here, instant owners. So this is saying select all from instant underscore owners, where the owner first, or the winner first right here, equals the owner first. There you go. You can see the query right there. So select all from instant owners, where instant winner first equals owner winner first, and instant winner middle equals owner winner middle, then last equals last, and county equals county. That was the main point that we wanted to get comfortable with today and last class, is joining tables, making them talk to each other. And I hope we were able to do that. So these are some of our findings. From 2005 to 2016, North Carolina education lottery players bought around 120,000 winning scratch-off tickets worth at least $600. Winners are required to report winning tickets of at least $600 to the IRS. More than 550 players claimed at least 10 winning tickets during that time span, according to a data analysis by the Charlotte Observer. Their winning tickets totaled nearly $42 million. Cecil Etheridge of Wake County won most often. He won 52 times, pocketing $73,000. On November 23, 2009, Etheridge turned in 8 winning scratch-off tickets. He walked away with $8,000, and he was the only person in the city of Apex to collect winnings that day. Let me scroll down. In all, 6 people, including Betty Manning of Guilford County, won 40 times, won 40 or more times on scratch-off tickets. 2, including Etheridge, won at least 50. Perhaps most surprising, some of the lottery's biggest winners were the men and women behind the counter. A store owner in Wake County, Ahmet Kumar Panya, won 36 times for $66,000. He's one of 36 store owners who at least won 10 times on a scratch-off ticket. Champak Bahai Patel of Rowan County won 9 times. Patel is the only person in the state to win $1 million twice. That's a lot of powerful findings that we were able to walk through. And granted, I sort of knew what to look for, but if I were to ask you to sit down and query this data, I think that you all could do it. And you'd write enough queries, and you'd finally find that that story lead where, okay, I'm going to focus on winners who are winning a lot. Now, I wanted to show you 2 more things, because this is what we'll be learning in the coming weeks, and it's called Tableau, and it's a mapping program that takes our data that we clean up and we format and allows us to map it and make interactive maps. So what this is some of the state's top scratch-off winners and where they won. And you can see Cecil Etheridge is in gray, and he's over here, where here are all his wins. So $5,000, there's a $1,000, and it maps the highest winners in the state. And we can zoom in and find more of Etheridge, where exactly he won. And you can see all his winners there. But this is a mapping program called Tableau that we'll be using. And there's Betty Manning. I think we identified her. I'll zoom into her as well. And here are all Manning's wins. $1,000, $1,000, $1,000. She's just collecting $1,000 after $1,000. And in this store, she won 11 times at that store. So that's Tableau. We'll be learning that in the coming classes. And this is Tableau for charts. And this is the percentage of the scratch-off tickets that the store owners won at their store. So here's Mr. Panya. Ahmet Kumar Panya, located in Franklinton. His total store sold 79 winning tickets, and he claimed 36 of those 79. His store sold $117,000 worth of winning tickets over the years, and he claimed more than half of that, $66,000. Here's another guy. His store sold 18 winning tickets in a decade, and he claimed half of them. He claimed 9. And here's another guy who claimed half. His store in Raleigh sold 12 winning tickets,